Hi, we're at Arches National Park by the sign here. You can see that now. I told you the date earlier, it was wrong. I said it was the 20th. Today's actually the 18th. And we're going to go see some arches. Okay, in the middle of the picture are the three gossips. Right next to it here is sheetrock. Coming in a little farther, in the middle of the picture right now is the Tower of Babel. And just to the right, the Organ. This is Courthouse Rock. We saw it from the opposite side, but there was no name there when we were looking at it. So now we know what the name is. Courthouse Rock. We are now in an area called the Petrified Sand Dunes. Of course, since they're sand, they're not really petrified, because in order for something to become petrified, it has to be alive first, like petrified trees. But these are little dome-shaped sand dunes that were over time cemented together into sandstone. Unique formations here. Some of these are referred to as hoodoos. The tall, thin spires that stick up like that. As we pan farther here to the right, get some different colored rock formations. Balanced rock here in between these two formations here on the left. A little farther here we have hoodoos. And in the far distance there is an arch. Can't see it really well from here. And we have some hoodoos sticking up over here. And the mountains in the background. We're at the Balanced Rock trailhead. We're going to take a little hike here toward Balanced Rock. And there is Balanced Rock with its neighbor here to the right. Okay, let's kind of finish the panorama shot going in the opposite direction. Looks like we have some sand dunes that were solidified into sandstone right down here. Oh, it's very, very windy. Well, we're hiking our way to Delicate Arch. It's a 1.5 miles one way. And the trail leads this way and then all the way up onto that slick rock up there. Alright, we're still on our way to Delicate Arch.
We're trying to take a photo.
Get a little more rugged here. Alright, this part of the trail is a little more interesting than the earlier part. Loose rock, lots of sand, lots of people. Got a bit of a ledge here. Got shaped pretty well, so it seems to be pretty safe. You can see there's quite a few people here. And there's the arch with the mountains in the background. say to stand in the middle of the arch here too, don't I? Yes. We took a 1 mile drive from the trailhead when we walked the 3 mile round trip up to the arch. Now we're on the back side. You should be able to see people standing up there on the left of the arch. Well, they might be too small. But this is the opposite side of the arch. View of South Arch from underneath it. Okay, we're now on the opposite side of the windows. This is north window from the opposite side. And panning around here, there's south window. And let's get a shot of the sun just peeking out, hitting that rock just a little bit, peeking through the arch. It's neat. Well, this is the region where we're camping. It's called Willow Springs Road. You can see it's very, very popular. It's Bureau of Land Management land. And camping is free. But of course you get very little in the way of amenities. Back in the very end where we are located, there's a outhouse. When we got back here in this region yesterday morning, actually it was in the afternoon, early afternoon. There was nobody else back here in this area. You can see they just have congregated, and they don't seem to mind how close they get to each other because they need someplace to go. There's actually people sleeping out here without tents because it's a dry region. I guess they were not afraid of getting rained on. So, there we have it. This is an area called Salt Valley. There are many inland seas, I shouldn't say inland seas, yeah, inland seas, that were here, and it flooded with seas 29 times. And as the water evaporated, left behind huge amounts of salt. So that the salt was thousands of feet thick. Over time and pressure from the interior of the earth, that salt bulged upward, pushing the rock that was above it upward. And as that rock was pushed upward, it fractured into these formations here. And then over time, water seeped through these rocks and dissolved the salt away, and it collapsed into the valley that I showed you earlier. We're now at the Salt Valley overlook. We can get some good shots here of the red rock that was formed up on top of the salt dome. And of course it fractured as the salt dissolved and went down, leaving these fantastic looking formations. And of course, valley below. Well, we drove up the road a little bit farther, and look at that. More great things to shoot. Well, that looks kind of neat. This is a mighty soft sand we're walking on here, back to Sand Dune Arch. And there we have Sand Dune Arch.
Okay, just go over here. Don't get stuck.
What did you find back there?
I found rocks. And
Rocks?
shade.
In this park? My goodness. So we're walking on Broken Arrow Arch Trail. Broken Arrow, wow. Broken Arch Trail. And in the far distance is where you'll find the arch. It's a level, pretty level trail, very, very sandy. Well, we have made it to Broken Arch. We're now in the region of Tapestry Arch. And as I pan here to the right, eventually we'll get to Tapestry Arch. And there she be. Tapestry Arch. all the way over to the Jenny.
Hello.
We are headed back from the campground where we restocked ourselves with water, emptied our bladders. Now we're headed back to the parking lot. Neat. Well, doing some hiking in that area. It's a more challenging part of the hike compared to what we already went on. Earlier we went on a lot of sand, but here it's a lot more rock and a lot more up and down, steeper, big steps. But look at the views we get. We are now beginning the Devil's Garden hike. There's a number of arches that we'll find back in here. And similar to what we saw at Guadalupe National Park in Texas is Devil's Hallway, or Devil's Hall, that we have right here. As we hike through Devil's Garden, and there is the tunnel arch. A little baby to the left. Okay, now we're going to go to Pine Tree Arch. And here's one massive arch. Now we're on our way to Landscape Arch and Double O Arch. Okay, we have made it to the most unique arch in the park, at least in my opinion. This is the Landscape Arch. It's a very, very long and delicate arch. Rocks on the right-hand side fell off of it in 1991. And since then, the park has closed access up to underneath the arch. So this is about as close as we can get to it. We are on our way to Double O Arch.
You did it, Mom. You did it. Yeah, you are. You're there. You just go straight. Just keep walking. Go on. You can do it. Yeah, there you go. Just stand up and walk.
You are amazing.
Look at you. You got all the way up here.
Where are you?
I'm at Arches National Park. Where are you?
We're on a bit of a fin, aren't we? There's, in the distance, there is Landscape Arch. And over here we have Double O Arch. And this is the fin that we walked along. Now we're on our way to Navajo Arch. Along this trail right here. This is pretty unique erosion, weathering and erosion that's occurred right here along this sandstone wall. All little potholes. Almost looks like some places where birds will make nests in clay walls. Ah, yes. Neat stuff. All right, we'll go this way then. Whoa! I'm underneath the arch, I guess. Look at that tree back there. It's a good looking tree. Looks kind of like a tree you'd find in the desert.
It's not a trail that we gotta board across.
Right. Ah, Navajo Arch. Look at all the mass of rock above it. Well, we went to Navajo Arch. Now we're back at the intersection of the trail. It'll take us to Partition Arch. And there they go, the mom and the daughter. Partition Arch just ahead. Earlier we thought this might be double arch, but it's called Partition Arch. Got the larger arch here on the left, and a small hole there on the right. All right, now we're on our way to Double O Arch. Unless that's a 0. I think it's an O.
Are you gonna come back down?
Well, there's some significant blades right here.
I don't have a chance going up there. I told guys off my.
And this is the way to Double O Arch. Up this rock. Here's the pictures of those fin. This is really a unique trail. Here we are walking along top of a narrow fin, and somewhere up here we have to get down in order to find those arches. And there's Jenny up there ahead of us. Look at all the blades of the fins.
There's a really neat trail once you get to Double O Arch called the Primitive Route Trail, which goes.
And this is the route we just took along the top of that fin.
I'm gonna go on that brush right over there.
And then we'll watch the route they take. Swing around, come down on those logs, or not, and then down this way. It was quite the adventure for Mommy. And here we come to Double O Arch. This has to be a very, very nice arch, as hard as it is to get back here. All right, still have not gotten to Double O Arch. Walking along some slick rock here. We had a real interesting trip along that fin. Yeah.
You guys not much farther yet?
Oh yeah, come on. Yeah.
Well, we finally made it to Double O Arch. Right here.
Alright, now stop and look
I'm
up.
scared. I can't.
Look up.
Oh, there's an arch there.
She's still hunched over.
I can't stand up there.
Up.
Sit up on that boarding.
More double arch from a different vantage point. Double O Arch. And there's double zero arch from the opposite direction. Sun shining through to the other side. As we're heading back on the Dark Angel Trail. Alright, we've met the intersection here with Dark Angel Trail and Primitive Loop. We're taking Primitive Loop back to the parking lot. Oh, here we go on Primitive Trail. Sign said this is going to be a very interesting trail. Hope that sign was right. Well, here we have a hole in the wall with a couple other ones trying to make it an arch. Well, here we are hiking on the Primitive Trail. We're down in a wash right now. It looks like the flooding has kept it pretty clean. Okay, we keep going down in these washes, different washes, along the Primitive Trail. It's interesting. This part isn't so difficult, but maybe some of the other part of it will be. And for the most part, the trail has been marked pretty well with these little piles of stones. We have one more trail arch to see, and I guess that's Primitive Arch. So we got a little walk up this way.
Private.
Private. I apologize. Private Arch. Guess you should have known that by reading it, huh? A significant outcropping of blades in front of us as we head back to Private Arch. Jenny's getting a big lead on me there. We're done with Private Arch, and it was private for a reason. It was a much farther height than what we expected. So we need to continue with the Primitive Loop going to our left. So we'll be heading this way. I guess this is some of the trail where the sign says it's going to become interesting.
Come on, Ma. You just plop your butt down. Stick your feet out.
On that board?
Yeah.
Oh,
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Come on.
Keep going until you feel like you need to plop your butt down, and then plop your butt down, and then keep going.
Go to your right.
This way. This way, Mommy. See how there's a ledge coming all the way up?
Walk.
Take it in position right there, Dina.
You can step up. Right where your hands are. There you go. You did it. All by yourself.
Okay, look back here. You're doing a good job, aren't you?
I'm trying. It's rough though.
You gotta step up the tree.
Scary.
Good hike in the shade.
Oh,
Be careful, Dina.
tripod there. We are inside a pretty narrow wash here.
Come on.
Well, I'm glad the Park Service put this trail in.
Put your hands down. Put your feet down. Yeah. See, there you go.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Pretty amazing rock formations in here.
Looks like we're going this way. Come on. Give me your wrist, Ma.
Thank goodness for the little piles of stones.
Yes.
Otherwise we would be lost.
Grab my wrist from now on, okay?
We're down to a little bit easier hiking now. We came through some very difficult, slippery, steep rocks. Well, we would probably still find some more of that here. Yeah, looks like it's coming up again.
We should be on the right trail.
Yep, we're on the right trail.
You gotta use the tree, Ma. Yeah, you can. But you do want to use the tree. The rock's slippery. That's why the tree's there. There you go.
Dad, can you make it without? You want to give me your?
No, I think I can do it.
There you go. You did it all on your own. Look at you.
The tree.
Learning.
The tree helped me.
Yeah, the tree's helpful.
And you get the right place.
Oh, come on, it wasn't that hard.
I
Right,
mean,
Bonnie?
it was hard finding the trail.
19 minutes to 9. Well, excuse me, 21 minutes to 9.
That is an impressive
All right, we're back to the main trail.